Hello and welcome back to another week of Sambo iRacing. We're at the world famous Laguna Seca for another track guide, this time in the BMW M4 GT4. So it's a G82. If you are new to my channel, what we do is a hot lap, a breakdown, and we're back in the cockpit one final time the driving line on. Let's start the hot lap. Rightio, let's start the hot lap. We're smashing it down the main straight, which is actually turn one here. Over to the right-hand side, just after the four, going to brake hard up to sort of 90%, leave it in third gear, long trail off, as you can see there on the telemetry graph. Up to fourth, looking for the two sign. Little dab on the brakes, down to third gear. Again, nice right angle triangle trail off. Two sign, little dab on the brakes, leaving it in fourth gear. You'll see my throttle keeps dropping down to 99 and 98. I didn't notice that until just now. That's probably cost me a few hundredths over the lap. Have to put a dead zone in. Believe me, my foot was flat down. Fourth gear here through turn 6. Straight up to fifth, up the hill. I'm going to brake just before the 3. Again, down to third gear, cutting that corner, blip, little lift, and then back on. Up to fourth. Now we're doing a big lift here through turn 9. Good passing opportunity. Two sign, little, again, dab on the brakes, down to fourth gear. Over to the right hand side, just after the 2. And we're going to come down to only third gear here. Again, getting on the gas as early as possible. Getting those wheels on the inside of the red sausage. And open across the line in a 1:27.053. Right, let's do the breakdown lap. All right, let's charge through this breakdown. So we're going to be as close as we can over to the left-hand side through the kink of turn 1 here. And get over to the right-hand side. And we're going to brake just at the 4 marker that you see here, as you can see. So we get onto that, we brake, and we're trying to brake to the outside here. And now we're going to start turning in as we come off the brakes a little bit. A long trail off, you can see. And then this midpoint here of the corner, this is when I get off the brakes, start getting back on the gas. So as I'm going around the final part of the corner here, I'm up to sort of 90%. And then I go up to 100 as soon as I start opening the wheel out. Up to fourth gear. Now we're looking for the 2 marker on the left-hand side. So as we get there, little dab on the brakes up to about 55%, trail it off, drop it down to third. And again, we're going to start getting back on the gas nice and early as soon as we get to the rumble strip here. And then as I open the wheel, back up to 100%. Back over to the left. And again, it's the 2 marker here. So as we get there, we're staying in fourth gear, little dab on the brakes, only up to 20%. And then we get back on the gas nice and early. We're at sort of 3/4 pressure as we hit the apex. And then straight up to 100. For turn 5, really important corner this one. So we're going to go just past the 3. And then we're going to brake up to sort of 80%. We're going to trail that off, drop it down to fourth gear. Still trailing it off down to the apex. And then as we get to the apex, getting back on the gas. As soon as the wheel's slightly open, even though it's still at 90 degrees to the left, we're back up to 100%. So it's quite a good corner in terms of the banking to enable you to get through. Up to fifth gear. Again, we're looking at the between the 3 and the 2, just before the 2 marker on the right-hand side here. Little dab on the brakes, only up to about 35%. Drop it down to fourth. Trail it off, getting back on the gas as we get to the rumble strip. As we go through the apex, we're still holding at sort of 2/3 pressure, and now up to 100% as soon as we open up the wheel. So our braking marker for here is just before we get to the crest of the hill. So just before we get there, we're going to brake up to about 75%. And wipe all that speed off, trying to still brake in a straight line. So as you can see, still braking quite hard. Now I've crested, I've actually increased the brake pressure. And then I'm going to wipe that speed off, going to trail off down to the inside apex here. And then as soon as I straighten my wheel out, I blip on the gas, quickly up to 100%, little lift as I go through the second apex, and then I get straight back on the gas. Up to fourth gear. Now, as soon as we start the turn in, we do a big lift. down to nothing, and then we start getting back on as soon as we can see the apex. And again, as soon as I open the wheel out, back up to 100%. Over to the left-hand side, looking for the 2 marker, and then as we get there, little dab on the brakes, up to about 55%. I drop it down to 4th, and then I start getting back on the gas as soon as I'm at the apex, and again, it's about 2/3 pressure. Final corner, we're looking for just after the 3, just before the 2 sign. And we're going to brake here up to about 85%, wipe that speed off in the straight line, drop it down to 3rd, bleeding off the brakes as we get to the apex. And then, as you can see, I've got my left-hand tyre on the left-hand side, the inside of the sausage curb. And then again, blasting back up to 100% as soon as I start opening that wheel out. We can exit nice and wide here. There's no off-track. And there we are, over and across the line in a 127.053. Right, we have one final version coming up now with the driving line on without me talking. Enjoy.